turning focus now back to the World Cup and some of the initiatives that are currently underway in South Africa, especially with regards to cleanup. Duduzile Ntuli, CEO at Zibi Waste Management, and Jenny Moodley, Head of Media and Marketing at Johannesburg City Parks, join me now in studio. Thank you so much to you both for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to start off with City Parks itself, Jenny, because City Parks has unveiled a 40 million rand maintenance and beautification plan. What exactly are we looking at here?
Well, largely it's a whole series of activities, including greening, tree planting, the beautification of our streets, the putting up of big screen televisions to encourage spectator participation. So there's been various greening activities in the city of Joburg.
Well, looking at that investment, I mean, earlier on in the show we were taking a look at some of the money that's been ploughed into infrastructure spend and whether, you know, the kind of money that's being spent is actually warranted. In this regard, I mean, is this money well spent? Do you see this lasting, you know, this investment actually lasting beyond the World Cup?
I think most definitely. One of the things we're finding through greening is that we're able to decrease illegal dumping, littering has been contained, vandalism. So there's a greater sense of community ownership in our public open spaces. So we feel that's, it's a positive, it's cost saving in terms of the city. And of course we've got huge programs, including the tree planting initiative, and that we know from an environmental perspective that's going to increase or enhance the quality of our lives and our environment.
Oh, well, talking about enhancing the quality of our environment, Duduzile, we've had Zibi Waste Management enter the fray here and participating very actively from a private capacity in the hosting of this World Cup, keeping things clean. Let's take a look at just exactly how you're involved.
Okay, basically it's actually Zibi Environmental. We are specialists in this country in launching underground waste containers. What we have done now for the 2010 World Cup is having all those underground waste containers being installed at your major stadiums, which was our milestone in terms of the greening project, in terms of recycling. What Zibi had said, we actually responded to what the Department of Environment, to what our municipalities were striving for in terms of making sure that in world spectrum, we are seen to be a country that is moving towards green concept from waste practices as well. As Jenny had said, that you know what, illegal dumping has come into play, vandalism of those bins has come into play. What we have done as a company, we have launched a product that actually minimizes vandalizing of the bins because they are actually stored underground. But also it integrates very nicely into the aesthetics of the stadiums, into the aesthetics of the parks. Also, it also addresses the issue of recycling because you start separating a source. Because what we are saying is that as a country, we have, at the Polokwane Declaration had said that we need to have the number of waste that goes to the landfill sites. So as Zibi, we brought in this product from Europe. We've seen what is international best practice. And I'm proud to say that as a young company, we have managed to fit in exactly on that.
While that may be international best practice, I mean, what's the culture like amongst South Africans? Are South Africans a recycling nation to start off with?
I think we are getting there. I think what we have done as a company, not only have we focused on the actual product itself, we are coming up with initiative where we are saying people have to start taking ownership. Because what we are doing with the municipalities, we are saying in terms of local economic development and what is it that the company can do in terms of those underground bins, how we can drive initiatives in terms of people starting taking ownership on recycling, because the culture isn't there. But as a step forward, we are moving towards that.
Yeah.
And that public and private partnership has actually enabled us. As Zibi, we will be starting a project.
Very interesting. Sorry to interrupt, but we are running out of time. Very interesting to see if these public-private initiatives are actually sustainable beyond 2010. But Jenny, I mean, I came across this figure that if all the waste in the Zibi bins on the ground were on the ground, we would have seen this cost the government about 91 million rand to actually clean up, and that just in Cape Town alone. So with all this saving, why has it actually taken the World Cup to actually initiate this kind of drive?
I think there are different priorities, and some of those cost savings have been deployed to other activities within the city's environmental portfolios. One of which, of course, is tree planting. The other, of course, is to develop our parks and our open spaces and so on. And then there's the environmental concerns, which is recycling, how we dispose of our refuse and so on. There's also water conservation, so a lot of funds have gone into educating our communities. Yeah. We do find that through education we're able to contain some of these concerns. So hugely, huge benefits for the city and for residents. And I think, we've found the opportunities to discuss private sector partnerships with some of our various tiers of partners, and we're quite happy about some of the outcomes.